monster would literally give you the vindication and the satisfaction of watching him grovel on television, surrounded by the fucking hogs that adore him. Like, think about it. What fucking fascist would have the indignity and lack of self-awareness to, like, Hitler was in a bunker, you know what I mean? Like, Trump, on the other hand, is like, nah, fuck this, YOLO. Love how much you guys fucking love me. Pogies. I will literally make a fool of myself on national television and also everyone around me. You know what I mean? So, on the one hand, you kind of think, like, on the one hand, you gotta think, dude. My Australian this is really fucked up. He's a horrible person. He's nearly killed 300,000 Americans. Like, you know, I hate him. But on the other hand, you're like, man, he's just really out here spitting, dude. He's really giving it to us. Giving us the satisfaction, the climactic experience of literally failing in the most ungraceful capacity. Fuck. Like,
we need to talk
look
about
at all
the
these
copium
fucking
crisis.
hogs, dude. They're not even wearing masks. I'm on mute.
It is wonderful to be here with you tonight. Thank you for coming out and supporting us. President Trump continues to fight for you every single day. Do not let your voices be silenced. We must keep our seats in the Senate. It is more important than ever that you exercise your right as an American citizen and vote.
Perhaps one of the greatest.
Under my husband's leadership, our borders are safer. Global terrorists have been destroyed and historic peace deals in the Middle East have been made. Our nation is respected again, and our allies are now doing their fair share globally. President Trump has brought jobs back to the American people. And opportunities for women have expanded in our workforce.
Wait, what?
Our economy has soared and unemployment has shrunk.
Oh.
When a global pandemic hit the United States last January, my
Bro,
husband...
y'all lost. You don't have to still lie to them. This is so weird. Why are they lying?
And now, under this administration, and because of our amazing medical capabilities and resources, we are closer than ever to vaccinate that will save millions of lives. Let your voices be heard, Georgia. Get out and vote for Senator Loeffler and Senator Perdue. Thank you, and God bless you and your families. It is now my pleasure to welcome the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you. A very popular First Lady, I have to tell. Thank you very much, and thank you, Melania. And I want to say hello, Georgia. We did a great job. You know, we won Georgia, just so you understand. And we won Florida. And we won a lot of places. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bitch, why don't you say where you won?
A lot of places. We won Florida, we won Ohio, big. We won them big. Remember, we were going to lose Florida, they said. We were 5 down in Florida. We won by a lot. We were way down in Ohio, and we won by a lot.
Where am I now?
I think they say that if you win Florida and if you win Ohio, in history, you've never lost an election. This has got to be our first time. But the truth is, they were right. We've never lost an election. We're winning this election. And I will say we're fighting very hard for this state. When you look at all of the corruption and all of the problems having to do with this election, all I can do is campaign, and then I wait for the numbers. But when the numbers come out of ceilings and come out of leather bags, you start to say, what's going on? But I want to just tell you that I love this state. I love the people in this state. And I'm thrilled to be back in magnificent Georgia with thousands of proud, hardworking American patriots. Let me begin by wishing you all a very Merry Christmas. Remember the word? Remember? We started 5 years ago, and I said, you're going to be saying Christmas again, and we say it proudly again, although they'll be trying to take that word again out of the vocabulary. We're not going to let them do that. I also want to express our profound condolences to the family of Harrison Deal, a young and brilliant campaign staffer for Senator Loeffler, who tragically died in a terrible car accident yesterday. You know about it. He was an incredible, magnificent young man, and I just.
You think he's just going to keep campaigning and acting like?
Swing states just to listen.
You think he's going to keep campaigning and acting like he won? I never really considered this possibility, but like, what if he just still acts like he's the president? Maybe he like uses the $200 million to like build a fucking fake White House.
And let me also express our warmest, best wishes and love to all of those people and families suffering from the COVID pandemic. Vaccines are on their way at a level that nobody ever thought possible. It would have taken another administration 5 years. It took us 7 months. And they're starting next week, and we're going to start vaccinating, and a lot of people already are vaccinated.
Bro, vaccines don't do shit for you if you already have COVID. So it doesn't matter. To all those fucking Georgians who died, like, RIP.
You know, they say that before I had it, they said if you catch it, you're immune for life. Once I got it, they said if you catch it, you're immune for 4 months, right? You know? But they're on their way, the vaccines, and they're great vaccines and safe and brilliant, actually, to think of it, what we've done in such a short period of time. Nobody thought. They call it, even some of the enemies call it a medical miracle, what we've done. And we also have great therapeutics, and they're already here. And I can testify to that fact. I'll tell you what, some incredible work has been done over the last 7 months. And we should always get credit for that. Don't let anyone ever take it away from us. We're gathered here tonight to ensure, a very important word, ensure, because these are two great, great people that I know so well and respected by everybody in Washington and beyond, that David Perdue and Kelly Loeffler win the most important congressional runoff probably in American history. I really believe that. I think it's in American. There's never been a time like this where you have two at one time. At least you have two beauties. And you know what? You also have two beauties running against them, but beauty in a different way. They're two beauties.
By the way, both of the Republicans have been caught with insider trading scandals now officially. One not directly related to COVID, one directly related to COVID.
And you have to get out and you have to vote. You have to make sure you have every vote counted. Every vote has to count. You got to make sure they don't throw away any ballots. You got to make sure that when they collect the ballots and they start bragging about how many ballots they already have, you got to make sure your Secretary of State knows what the hell he's doing. And you got to make sure your governor gets a lot tougher than he's been. He's got to get a lot tougher. Because at stake in this election is control of the U.S. Senate, and that really means control of this country. The voters of Georgia will determine which party runs every committee, writes every piece of legislation, controls every single taxpayer dollar. Very simply, you will decide whether your children will grow up in a socialist country or whether they will grow up in a free country. And I will tell you this, socialist is just the beginning for these people. These people want to go further than socialism. They want to go into a communistic form of government, and I have no doubt about it. Somehow that doesn't suit Georgia too well. That doesn't work too well, I think, Kelly in Georgia does it. David and Kelly are running against radical John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. Ossoff and Warnock are the two most extreme, far-left, liberal Senate candidates in the history of our country. And you got them both at one time. How did that happen?
What?
I think you both got lucky, but we'll see, right? We'll see. You must go vote and vote early, starting December 14th. You have to do it. They cheated and they rigged our presidential election, but we will still win it. We will still win it. We'll still win it. And they're going to try and rig this election, too.
Thank you for helping me to cast my opponents.
No, we continue to fight. We've had some great moments. We just need somebody with courage to do what they have to do, because everyone knows it's wrong. We need somebody with courage, somebody that makes decisions.
As Mod Trump has
And we'll be going up to the Supreme Court very shortly, and we really, if we have courage and wisdom, I think you know what the answer is going to be, because you can't let people get away with what they got away with. Think of it, with over 74 million votes, think of that, more than, I got more votes than any sitting president in history, 11 million more votes than we got in 2016. And we thought that if we could get 68 million, 67 million, that would be the end. All of our great, brilliant geniuses said you'd win if you get 67 or 68, it's over. We got 74 million plus, and they're trying to convince us that we lost. We didn't lose. They found a lot of ballots, to be nice about it, and they got rid of some, too. The 74, let me tell you, the 74 could have been even higher. As the great pollster, John McLaughlin, who's really a great pollster, one of the most highly respected, he said there's no way this could have happened other than the obvious cheating or a rigged election. There's no way it could have happened. You know, it's interesting. I wrote this out, and I had just a few of the facts, which I think, because I want to get onto the presidential.
Oh, he's got his facts, dude. He's such an old man.
I want to stay on presidential, but I got to get to these two, because they're great. But listen to this. These are the facts. And each fact is like irrefutable, and it means win. President Trump received, done by one of the most brilliant political people, President Trump received more votes than any previous incumbent president in history. And we lost. So we received more votes than anybody in history, any incumbent in history. And we lost, supposedly. We didn't lose. You're going to see that. No incumbent who received 75% of the total primary vote lost re-election in the history of our country. President Trump received 94%, not 74, 94, which is one of the highest in history. In fact, President Trump is the only one of 5 incumbents since 1912 to receive more than 90% of the primary vote. And again, anybody received over 75%, they won. We got 94%. President Trump set a record for the most primary votes ever received by an incumbent, ever. And nobody that's received,
I can't tell if it's sad.
all of
He's
the
the biggest
primary votes,
loser.
nobody's received at a much lesser level than what they always won. But we didn't, according to what they say. It's rigged. It's a fixed deal. Nationally, initial numbers show that 26% of President Trump's voting share came from non-white voters, the highest percentage for a GOP presidential candidate since 1960. That's a long time ago. President Trump won, think of this one. President Trump won 18 of 19 bellwether counties. You know what a bellwether county is? It's a big deal. So I won 18 of 19, a record, never happened, that between 1980 and 2016 voted for the eventual president in every single election. And before that, it was almost every election. And we won a record, 18 of 19, never lost. Nobody's ever lost with anything like that.
It's almost like he lost Arizona.
For the down ballot races, had no coattails. I'm shocked.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like, you know, there was an upset in Arizona, which kind of turned the entire race around.
He had less than 1,000 people. How do you have 80 million votes and you have?
Therefore, all of this is irrelevant.
You have less than 1,000 people. With Republicans maintaining control. So here's what happened. So Biden didn't demonstrate coattails, down ballot races, but with Republicans maintaining control, first time this has ever happened, control of the Senate, winning all 27 toss-up races in the House. Kevin McCarthy, great job. Mitch, great job. Winning all 27 toss-up races in the House. Think of it. We didn't lose a seat in the House. Think of this. First time
but those
that
are
anybody,
legit.
I think, in history.
Those are the
we
same
didn't
ballots,
lose
but
one
those
seat.
are
Normally you
legit.
lose 2, 3, 5, and you replay. We lost nobody sitting in Congress. I worked hard in the House with Kevin McCarthy. Not losing a single legislative chamber and making big gains at the state level and holding on to the Senate. I mean, look at what's happened. We better hold on to the Senate, you two. And there's never been numbers like that where a president even came close to losing. But they say we lost. The only way is
Isn't
they
he
stuffed
just
them.
like the funniest part about this is that his fans don't understand. Like, this is literally just an entire rant about how bad he is personally. That like the Republican Party didn't lose its popularity, but like people hated him so much that like even Republicans ended up like giving victories to down ballot races and not Donald Trump.
Down by 2 in Ohio, and we won. I think
Like
we got
it
8
is
or 9
record-breaking losses. That and it's a
Nobody's ever
complete
done that.
nonstop
Very
self-own.
powerful, big, important states. And the beauty is that we also won Georgia, and that was good. And we won South Carolina, and we won Iowa. Remember? We're not going to win in Iowa, they said. We're not going to win. I think the farmers like Trump a lot, right? Well, we won in Iowa by a lot. We won in Iowa by close to record numbers. I think I have the record. And we won all over the place. And many of these swing states, you know, it's a very interesting statistic. President Obama beat Biden all over the country, except in some of the swing states where Biden beat him badly. How does that work? And they say it's statistically impossible. He beat crooked Hillary. Think of this. He beat crooked Hillary in the swing states, but she beat him everywhere else. Let me tell you, this election was rigged, and we can't let it happen to 2 of the greatest, most respected people in Washington. We can't let it happen again. Can't let it happen. Can't let it happen.
Haley Loeffler is literally notoriously disliked. So that's also funny.
Your governor could stop it very easily if he knew what the hell he was doing. He could stop it very easily. Hundreds of thousands of illegal votes were cast in each state. Far from, I mean, you look at this, hundreds of thousands more than we needed were cast in every state we're talking about, not only here, but Michigan, Pennsylvania. How about Pennsylvania, where they throw the poll watchers out? They threw them out. They literally threw them out. And they did it here, too, by the way. But we caught them cold and have numerous cases pending. And so far, we haven't been able to find the people with the courage to do the right thing. And that is true in Georgia, certainly. But we're going to hit those people, and they're going to go down in history as great people. They're going to go down because everyone knows what took place. But we're going to talk about the presidential election a little bit later because we have a big senatorial race going on in Georgia. And we are watching Democrats very, very closely. And remember this, we had this massive race all over the country, so they could cheat in Georgia, and people aren't really watching it like they should. And, you know, again, all I can do is say, I'm running win and then do a good job as president. That's all. I don't run the elections. I don't run to see if people are walking in with suitcases and putting them under a table with a black robe around it. I don't do that. That's up to your government here. And for whatever reason, your Secretary of State and your governor are afraid of Stacey Abrams. They're afraid of her. So we know the Democrats are planning to cheat, and we can't let them do it again. And we're going to pull ours out one way or the other. But we have to be vigilant, because I don't want these two to work like I thought we were going to easily win. And that maybe for the first time in a long time, I'd go take a nice little vacation for about 2 days, and then we go back. And instead, I probably worked harder in the last 3 weeks than I've ever worked in my life doing this. And I've become friendly with legislators that I didn't know 4 weeks ago, and actually they're great people. In fact, in my pocket right here, we have a couple of them right in here. Where's Burt Jones? Where's Burt Jones? Burt.
He's not wrong. He didn't do a lot when he was, I mean, he did fucking golf a bunch, but
Thank you, Burt, for
it's not like he did a lot when he was fucking president.
You're right, huh? He's a man of courage. Thank you very much, Burt. I appreciate everything you're doing, and so does this big crowd.
But like, he did definitely work harder at this than fucking dealing with COVID, for example.
Beach, Brandon, thank you for everything. We appreciate it. William Liggins. William, where's William? Why are you so far away, William, from them? Oh, I like that group better, actually. I agree. And Greg Dozel. Where's Greg? Greg, thank you very much, Greg. We appreciate it. Really do. We appreciate it. Great people. And we said, have this brought back into your legislature, Governor. Have it brought back. Let these people make it. Keep it open, keep it transparent, and let us have a signature verification. What's wrong with that? They keep counting the same votes. I said, don't count votes. Look at the signature. You're going to find the signatures aren't what they were 2 years ago, 4 years ago, 6 years ago. But
Happy to be here for another month.
I eat for 1 hour a day. 1 hour a day. Come at a different hour then.
I went against him, Ossoff.
1 meal a day,
4 years
1
ago.
hour a day.
He was against a very fine woman, Karen. It was a great woman, and he was leading by quite a bit, and we ended up beating him. He didn't even live in the district. He was running for Congress. He didn't even live in the district. So we're going to have the same thing. But Ossoff and Warnock will be total pawns of Chuck Schumer. Crying Chuck. I only see him cry when the cameras are on. But he did say this. Maybe I'm hurting you when I say. He did say this. If we get in, we're going to absolutely make Donald Trump's life miserable. Can you believe that? That's Chuck Schumer. He made the statement. We're going to investigate him. Oh, those investigations will go on and on. Well, they've been investigating me since the day we came down on the escalator, which what turned out to be our great first lady. We came down the escalator, right?
To be honest,
And
it's not
they
easy
spied on our campaign.
to deny reality this aggressively
Nancy Pelosi,
when you know better.
AOC, Bernie Sanders.
He deliberately is not talking about it as though he's no longer
That's what
president.
you're gonna have is Chuck
Notice
Schumer.
how he's deliberately using language that makes it seem like he's still going to be president.
First we take Georgia, then we take America. But they don't mean take America like in a good sense. They mean bring it over to things that the people of Georgia don't want. You're not going to like it when they want to take over your farm. Gee, we own this farm too. You know,
I mean,
we
he
were here
knows.
also.
He
We
has
own
to
this
know.
farm.
There's no way he
Here's
doesn't know. He
exactly
knows.
how they will change America forever. The radical Democrats, if they get power, they will immediately abolish the Senate filibuster, allowing them to pass any bill they want and giving them free rein to ram through the most extreme left-wing agenda ever conceived, while at the same time destroying our military through a lack of funding. And by the way, tell our senators, end Section 230. End Section 230. Put it in. We put it in. I want it in the defense bill. Put it in. Because it's a national security problem. It's a big national security
I want all the liberals in here to pay attention to the way Donald Trump
chance we have.
very clearly and very deliberately has specific policy proposals that he fucking wraps his audience around, that he captivates his audience with. These people not only know what the policies are, but are advocating for it. Now compare that to a Democratic campaign where fucking idiots on our side say, oh, we need to restore the soul of this nation. Shit like that. Build a wall is policy. Section 230 is literally a policy. Directly a policy. Democrats could learn a lot from Donald Trump, and the Republicans for that matter, in the way that they could message around issues.
Past warriors, heroes in some cases, many cases. Some turned out to be
hate is a much easier
heroes in
to push than
disguise,
actually doing
perhaps.
things? No.
But they want to take the names off, and they have the right to desecrate, to take down, to destroy, to demolish places in our national parks that we don't want demolished. So we have to be very careful of that. We can't let that happen. They want to put it in our military bill. Of all people, Elizabeth Warren puts that clause in the military bill. They will impose total open borders so that people can pour into our country, and they will give them free health care, free welfare, and the right to vote in your elections. You won't ever win another election as a Republican. They even want to take down the wall. You know, the wall, I won on the wall too. We won on a lot of things. Take down the wall. I heard him say it the other day. We will take down the wall. You know, we have the strongest border we've ever had now. We're almost finished with the wall. Strongest border, right, Sonny? And we built it despite, it's incredible the effect it's having. We built it despite everybody said no chance. I mean, we had a whole very powerful Democrat Party oppose me. And yesterday, I don't know if you saw it, the court just ruled that the money I took was taken illegally. So at least we have a legal wall. The appeals court. So we took in and we built the wall, and we'll be finished with it very soon, but it's had a tremendous impact on illegal immigrants coming into the country. And by the way, we want people to come into our country. You see that by the vote I got. But we want people to come in legally and through merit, where they can help us. The radical Democrats will implement nationwide catch and release. You know what that is? You catch a killer, you catch a rapist, and you say, oh, thank you very much. Please give us your name. Oh, come back in 3 years. We're going to put you on trial. Oh, good. You never see them, by the way. Remember, I had that debate with Joe Biden. He said, no, they come back. Yeah, they don't come back. They don't come back. No, they don't come back. Like never. Maybe 1%, but I doubt it. That's the end of them. You let them loose in our country. I got rid of it. You think that was easy? And install sanctuary cities all across the country. That's what they want. Freeing criminal aliens and MS-13 gang members, the most vicious people. They don't like guns because it's not painful enough. They like using knives. It's true. They don't like guns. They'd rather cut somebody up. To wreak havoc and terror upon innocent families. We've moved thousands and thousands of MS-13 the hell out of our country. We moved them back to where they came from. And some we put in prison because they're too dangerous to move back, because they'll try and figure a way. You know, they're not stupid. They're vicious, but they're not stupid. Sort of like the Democrats, if you think about it. They'll confiscate privately owned firearms and share. What they will do, they will share everything with themselves, only dangerous equipment, and they will totally cut up a thing called your Second Amendment rights. They'll make Washington, D.C. a state, and many other places, guaranteeing 2, 4, or 6 additional left-wing senators. You know, they want to make numerous places states. This way you'll have a lot more, Louis, you can have a lot more company in Congress. You'll have another 30, 40 congressional people from places you've never even heard of. You've never even heard of. Louis Gohmert, the great Louis Gohmert. And they'll be voting against Georgia every time, completely canceling out your voice in Washington forever. Like David Perdue, I'll never forget it. You got hit by a piece of a hurricane. Remember that? The farmers got hit so hard. And I went with Sonny and with David and some other great people from Georgia. And I said, is there a way we can pay these people? They never asked for anything, and their orchards were wiped out. One of the men said this was going to be the best crop I ever had. I was a week and a half away from finally, after 10, 12 years, making some money. And a week and a half early, he gets hit by the remnants of that big hurricane from Florida. great state, great place, but you got hit. And David, we took 100% care of those people, right? We took 100% care, yeah. With the help of Sonny.
Sounds a lot like, not socialism, but higher degrees of socialization to me. I don't know.
And they were all in a line. What do you do? I have this. What? It was a tragic. And nobody wanted
Expand that mentality to the COVID losses that businesses have faced and workers have faced, and hey, we're talking.
These are incredible people. They don't want anything. They just want a level playing field, but we took care of them. They never forgot it either. It's very interesting. I still hear from some of those people. The extreme left will pack the Supreme Court with 24 radical justices. That's the last number I heard. I used to hear it was 16. Now it's up to 24. Pretty soon you'll have another Congress. 24 radical justices instead of 9 justices that we have right now. And they want them to revolve up and down the court system so that Supreme Court justices can spend time in other locations. Down.
You know what's funny? Democrats would do an even number of justices. That's how fucking stupid they are. Like, I literally think Democrats would probably advocate for an even number.
If I don't get into these, we got to get the best would be all three.
That sounds unironically like some Democrat shit to me.
All three.
I feel like Dems would literally do. They would go for 24 justices and make sure that it's also even too, 12 to 12. 12 neoliberal, slightly conservative-leaning justices, and then 12 psychopathic far-right justices.
And there will be nothing to stop them. If they don't get in, there's going to be nothing to stop them. You have no idea how bad it will be. There will be nothing. I used to argue with certain people about the filibuster. I said, look, I don't like it either, but I do it because I know they're going to do it. And everybody said, oh, they'll never do it. They're doing it. They've already announced they're going to do it. That means they can do anything they want. And, you know, the Republicans, they play a different game. I don't know, maybe they love the country more. But they said, no, they'll never do it. And I said, with Schumer, he'll do it the first day he gets in, he'll do it. And that's exactly what's happening. And he'll do it. And he will do that to the Supreme Court. There's no question. But they look forward to it. Because you know why? We put on 3, think of this, 3 great justices and will be over 300 federal judges in the United States, which will be a record. 300. And they don't want to wait. They want to do it very quickly. Let's just vote and we'll take it. You know, this takes years and years and years to slowly change a court. And perhaps I got a little bit lucky to get 3. A lot of presidents have had none. They've never had. They stay on for a long time. They're young when they go on, and they're old when they come off. But the fact is, a lot of presidents, good presidents, great presidents, they say you can't be a great president unless you put in Supreme Court justices. They say it's the single most important thing a president can do. And I'm not sure that's right. I think military defense, military offense, frankly, is the most important thing. But it's certainly one of the most important things you can do. And the fact that I have I will have by the end, more than 300, first term, think of it. And if we do a second term, which I hope we do, we could have close to 540. But the fact that I had 3 Supreme Court justices in the first term is not making them feel too good. They will unilaterally surrender to China. They're already doing it. And, you know, Hunter made a lot of money in China. What's he going to do? Sending our factories and our jobs overseas. They will raise your taxes. We lowered your taxes. We gave you the greatest tax cut in the history of our country. And they want to get rid of that and raise your taxes and raise your regulations. We cut more regulations than any president in the history of our country. That's one of the reasons our business came back. You know, with the pandemic, as bad as it is, it's horrible. Should have never happened.
We love you.
China allowed this to happen. Should have never happened. But, you know, we went down less. A lot of people don't like to talk our economy. We went down less, and we went up more than any other country in the world. We went down less because we had a good foundation. And yesterday again, so now I thought it was 48. It's actually 128 times. Can you believe it? We set a new stock market record. But this one was great because the Dow Jones Industrial Average over, think of this, over 30,000 for the first time ever over the last couple of weeks. And yesterday was 30,200. Can you believe this? And this is during hopefully what will be, we're rounding the turn, we're rounding the corner on the pandemic, but this is during a pandemic. We broke 30,000, a number that was unthinkable when I first came. When I first came in at around 16,000, the concept of hitting a 30,000 Dow was not
300,000 dead, 30,000 Dow is not making the argument you think it's making, but these hogs probably don't recognize that. And secondly, it also happened immediately after Janet Yellen's announcement, as in part of the reason why it went up is because they are like, oh, stability is back. We thought the stock market was going to fucking implode when Joe Biden became president, right? No, guess not.
Every country, 188 got hit. Some were totally devastated. I don't know if they ever recover. But if you think about it, we had two.
Nearly
We did it the
300,000
first
dead.
time. We went up from where I took it over, way up, then it went down. Then we had a second. So we really had two. And now we're going to get money because we want the money. First of all, these states and cities should open up. They should open up. And we're working hard against the Democrats, but we're working hard to get some money out to the people because they need it. It's not their fault that they got hit with something from China. And you notice the way the Democrats like to say, it came from Italy. No, it came from China. And that's okay to say it. They like to say it came from Europe. No, actually, well, specifically, it came from Italy. Italy's saying, what did we do? They'll wage war on American energy, absolutely decimating Georgia's middle class. Your bills will go up. Not a huge energy producer, but Texas. Remember they said, Trump will lose Texas by a lot. I said, wait a minute. I'm in favor of energy. I'm the one that built. We have the greatest energy we've ever had. And it all happened this period of time.
Most of the highest spreading cases of COVID, especially in New York, did come in from Italy. The reason why he's saying that is literally because he wants to make it seem like stopping the Chinese travel, which he didn't even actually stop, was a successful policy to deal with COVID when it wasn't.
And we knew that before, but it's fake news. They said Wisconsin. A poll came out, Washington Post, ABC, just before the election. I'm going to lose Wisconsin by 17 points. I said, no, I'm going to win Wisconsin. Well, actually, I won Wisconsin. They're trying to say he's a little down, but I actually won.
Oh, wow,
But that's
crazy.
called suppression. That's called a suppression poll. That's a poll that's so devastating. When I asked one of the pollsters, I said, why did they go so far? Why don't they just say 4 or 5? Because in 4 years, they're going to lose all respect. They don't care. They'll do anything to win. They'll do anything to beat you. They don't care. These people are sick. 17 points, and we actually won. Remember, so many of the states, I won every one of them. Every one of these states. And by the way, the swing states that we're all fighting over now, I won them all by a lot. I won them all by a lot. And I have to say, if I lost, I'd be a very gracious loser. If I lost, I would say I lost, and I'd go to Florida, and I'd take it easy, and I'd go around, and I'd say I did a good job. But you can't ever accept when they steal and rig and rob. Can't accept it.
Yeah, that's right. Trump said that.
Well, the Democrats did try to steal the presidency. They're trying like hell. Do you ever notice the fake news? Today he's appointing his this, his that, Sonny, his Secretary of Agriculture, Sonny. I like Sonny. We want Sonny. He was a great
Dude,
governor.
Republicans
here
are
for
such
8 years,
scumbags.
right? You
Especially
would've,
the
you
fucking
would've solved this
dipshits that are
problem in about
literally
2
there
hours,
waiting, hanging
He
on
would've
every
said, let
word.
the legislature
They know he didn't fucking win.
open,
and they
let
won't
the-
say
let
anything
the
about
vote.
it because,
Let
like,
us be transparent
they're
on
scared. They're like, oh,
signatures. I
no.
think that's okay. But we're working hard to ensure that it doesn't happen, and now they're trying to steal these 2 important Senate seats from Georgia. And these seats are the last line of defense to save America and protect all that we have accomplished. And, you know, we've accomplished things that no other president has accomplished, no other administration. And I did it with these two people. I didn't know Kelly. When Kelly came in, I didn't really know what to think. There is nobody that fought harder for me. And I have to tell you this. I'll tell you, mind me telling you like publicly. Is that okay? There is nobody. David understands this, too. She fought. What a trooper. She was so tough and smart. She even went against Mitt Romney. She didn't like Mitt Romney too much. She said, I won't say what she said, but it was tough. But she is, we call him kryptonite. You know, anything he touches, they lose.
Oh, Hillary.
But you were so great, and I'll not forget it. And David's been my friend for a long time, for a long, long time. And there's nobody in Washington that's more respected than David Perdue. There's nobody. There's nobody. So we have to keep them.
Both of them have
If
separate
the other side
insider trading.
manages to steal both elections, we will have total one-party socialist control, and everything you care about will be gone. Your whole philosophy is going to be gone. Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, crying Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi. They want to take away your guns. I never got it. That's one of the reasons I knew. How can you win? No oil, no guns, no God. Oh, they won. I don't think so. Okay, I don't think. We knew that a long time ago. They want to take away your jobs, take away your borders, take away your freedom, take away your religion. And they even want to take away your beautiful Christmas that we just got back. I have to be very careful, you know, when I sort of imitate that, right? You remember I was saying suburban women. I say, suburban women, love me, please love me. I've been so good to you. I've been so good to you. I got rid of the worst regulation in the history of suburbia. I got rid of that regulation, so now you can actually have a house without a building going up next to it that you're not going to be happy about. Without crime increasing by tenfold and this and that. So I said, but suburban women, please, please love me. And CNN put me on. Donald Trump is begging. He's begging and crying for the vote of suburban women, right? These people are sick. So you have to be very careful when you're sarcastic. Sarcasm doesn't work. Sarcasm doesn't work. Wow, that is a big group of people back there. Look at that. The fake news.
So what's the argument that he didn't want suburban women? Like, does he not know what sarcasm is? Is he saying that he didn't want suburban women to love him and that's why he said it? Like,
Thanks for helping me keep.
Well, now we call it the
politics.
fake news and suppression news. I use the word suppression because now they got a new thing going. This happened since Hunter. Because we were killing him on Hunter, you know, stealing money from every country. He was a human vacuum cleaner. And it was hurting them badly. So all of a sudden, big tech, together with their partner, the Democrats, and their partner, the fake news media, they decide, under no circumstances will we ever talk about it again. So you have 95% of the media, you could have them be Jesse James and walk into the bank with a gun, hold them up, give me all your money, and they won't talk about it. And it's hard to have a scandal if they don't talk about it. Other than the New York Post and people like Sean Hannity and people like Laura, and Tucker is doing good. I like Tucker lately. And our friends in the morning, and I tell you, we have some great new people, OAN, Newsmax. And Judge Jeanine, she's on, right? She's on tonight. And Jesse Waters is great, and Pete Hegseth. And I'm in trouble because I don't mention everybody, but we have great people. We have a great voice. But the fact is, most of the press was suppressed, so that no matter what, they wouldn't talk. And it was incredible. And I have to give a lot of credit to Carl Allen and the New York Post for what they did, because they went out and they fought him, and they fought him hard. Oldest paper in America, fourth or fifth biggest, and they should be very proud of themselves. But we're doing the same thing. These two incredible people are doing the same thing. We fight. If you don't get out and vote, they are going to win. Now, you know, a lot of people, friends of mine, say, let's not vote. We're not going to vote because we're angry about the presidential election. And they're friends of mine. They are people that are great people. They're real friends, and more than just two. There are numerous people, and it's almost like a protest. But if you do that, the radical left wins, okay? It was sort of an instinct of mine. You know, you're angry because so many votes were stolen, it was taken away. And you say, well, we're not going to do it. We can't do that. We have to actually do just the opposite. We can't do that. We can't do that. We have to do just the opposite. If you don't vote, the socialists and the communists win. They win. Georgia patriots must show up and vote for these two incredible people.
These guys want socialistic communism.
People you'll ever meet. We can fight for the presidency and fight to elect our two great senators, and we can do it at the same time. We'll do it at the same time. It's all right. The election is about David Perdue, one of the greats, Kelly Loeffler, a person who is just unbelievable how she picked it up. No, but, you know, this natural talent. I always say, as an athlete, I'd always say, would you rather practice or have natural talent? I said, the best is both, right? But she's got a great natural talent. A great natural talent, just very respected. But they believe, both of them, in America, and they believe in our values and all that we stand for, and they understand this state. They love your state. If they didn't, I wouldn't be here, because I love your state too, by the way. This election is about the radical left movement that hates America and wants to erase our history and wipe away everything that we hold dear. They want to rip down our statues. You know, I signed a bill. I took an old bill because we could never get it today in the House headed by Crazy Nancy. I took an old bill that said 10 years in prison. They used the word prison, not jail. 10 years in prison if you take down a statue. I haven't seen it happen lately.
I don't think you can go to jail for 10 years.
Everyone said, you can't use that. I'll never forget. I heard they were going to, you know, they did destruction around, and all in radical left Democrat-run cities, by the way. And
yes, Chad, jail and prison are different.
I had it to do again. I think I would have sent the military in, you want to know the truth, but we're not supposed to. They're supposed to be able to handle their own affairs. I don't know. But all over, they said, sir, you can't do this, Bill. This is too tough. I said, really? They're going to tear down a statue of Abraham Lincoln, George Washington.
You really do learn new things in this chat, I feel like, every day.
Desecrate the most beautiful pieces of art, and they represent our country. And now they want to do it again. They want to put it in. I told you we can't let it happen. Over the last 4 years, David Perdue has been one of the toughest fighters for our America First agenda in Washington.
Good question, brother.
And David saw this. Did you see last week? China said, China doesn't like me too much. They pay us billions and billions. That never happened. Billions and billions of dollars in tariffs. And they pay it. They devalued their currency. They paid a lot of money. They don't like me. The happiest people in the world right now are the leaders of China. The second happiest are the leaders of Iran. What we would have done in the next 4 years, we would have been on a footing like nobody's ever, and now we're giving it all away. But China said, we will not deal with you unless you get rid of the America First policy. And you know what the Democrats said? They said, yes, we will do that. Can you believe this? And that's when I realized what a brilliant name that is. You know, we come up with some good ones, but that's a good one. We came up with plenty of good ones, haven't we? Some of them I won't use because some of those people are now friends of mine, but we came up with some good ones. But America First, and I looked at Melania a week ago and I said, can you believe it? They are saying that they don't agree with America First. How do you say that? I mean, how do you say it? We don't.
Literally did not make it up. It's actually an old school, if I'm not mistaken, a fascist, nationalist slogan.
You don't like that too much, right?
Like, literally did not make it up.
It won't happen because nothing's going to be able to get passed that's not going to be reasonable. He fought to pass the largest package, David, of tax cuts and reforms in American history. He helped lead the effort to repeal a record number of job-killing regulations, the likes of which you've never seen, including the unfair Waters of the United States rule that crippled work for our farmers and our builders. You know, it's such a beautiful name, but it was destroying people. And I'll never, Waters of the United, how beautiful is that? Waters of the United States. And I said, I got to get rid of it. I got to do it, but I'm going to get killed. Because the only thing good about it was the title, Waters. What are you doing today? I'm terminating Waters of the United States. Well, it was a little bit like the Paris Environmental Accord, right? The Paris Environmental Accord. I said, I'm going to get killed in this one. But we would have paid trillions and trillions of dollars. Russia has a big advantage of us. They go back to old days when the air was very dirty. That was their standard. China doesn't kick in until 2030. We kick in immediately, and the money that would have cost us, and if we adhered to it, we would have had to close up 20% of our factories. And now, the first thing they want to do, John Kerry, great negotiator, the first thing they want to do is they want to, number one, they want to bring back the Paris Accord, Environmental Accord, which will cost us. That was designed to destroy the United States. The second thing they want to do is let's give Iran billions of dollars. Oh, they're so happy. Iran would have been in my office in the first hour after we won the election to make a deal. But perhaps they still will. He said they still will. After Hurricane Michael devastated our farmers in southwest Georgia, as I said, no one worked harder to get them relief than David Perdue. He would call me all the time. He actually called me more than Sonny, and Sonny said agriculture. What the hell's going on, Sonny? Sonny, what happened to you, Sonny? It's true. David would call all the time. And remember how tough the Democrats made? They didn't want to give him anything. But we got it. We got him more than they even thought possible. Senator Perdue helped pass the unprecedented $2.5 trillion investment in our United States military, delivering the largest pay raises in addition to everything else for our warriors in a decade. And we now have the greatest, most modern military in the history of our country. We have brand new fighter jets, brand new bombers, brand new missiles and rockets, hypersonic missiles. We have hypersonic and hydrosonic. You know what hydrosonic is? Water. We have them all. We have missiles that go 7 times faster than any missile in the world. And when we took over, our military was decimated, our military was tired, our military was in big trouble. And you remember, and I've said it a lot, one of the world's most overrated generals came to see me. He said, sir, we have no ammunition. We had a little problem with a certain country. And he said, sir, we have no ammunition. I said, tell me you're not saying that. We didn't have ammunition. Think of it. We had very little ammunition. And I'll never forget that statement. I said, that should never happen to a president of the United States again, nor should being spied on ever happen to a president of the United States again. Senator Perdue has been a tremendous leader on pro-American immigration reform like nobody else. He voted very powerfully when I was going through hell on the wall. They would have given me anything. They gave me the money for the military. They just didn't want to give me money for the wall, so I took it out of the military. What the hell can I do? That was rather good. It's good to be a developer every once in a while. That was the one where the judges ruled yesterday, so they said it was fine because I called it national security. So we took it out of the mill. They didn't figure that one out. Now they do. But you know what? They don't have to be careful because it's turned out to be very popular and very successful. Shut down sanctuary cities, end chain migration, and protect American jobs, David did. He voted to confirm nearly 300 of the judges that I talked about, the federal judges, and interpret the Constitution as written. And when the Democrat mob came for Judge Kavanaugh, David Perdue stood strong. And, you know, I'm just thinking they both stood strong when they impeached your president for making a perfect phone call, too. I'm the only president ever, that got impeached for making a perfect phone call. But those two were among the best. Senator Perdue is an outsider, a businessman, a great businessman, and a true American patriot.
He admitted it.
You need him fighting for you and your family and your values because the United States Senate cannot be the same without him. So that's why I'm here. You know, I don't do these things for other people. In fact, I was curious. I didn't know if anyone was going to show up. I said, I'm doing it for other people. There's a hell of a crowd. Look, as far as the eye can see. As far as the eye can see. I don't like doing it for other people. I said, David and Kelly called, would you do a rally? I said, not really. I did 56 of them in a little tiny period of time. I said, let me have. And I said, when they asked, it was really not. But, you know, I don't do them for other people. It's a lot of work to do a rally. A lot of work. People don't realize when you do, I did 5 a day the last 4 or 5 days. One day I did 6. 6.
And you still lost, dude. That's so sad.
Think of it, the smallest one at 25,000 people. You think that's fun? In some of them, it's 75 degrees, and in others, it's 20 degrees below zero, and you're doing them both. I'm saying, how's the weather out there? Sir, it's about 20 degrees below zero. That's good. Then I land the next stop. How are we doing? Sir, it's 82. David's opponent, John Ossoff, is a radical left-wing zealot who is very proud to be endorsed by Bernie Sanders, Crazy Bernie. Ossoff supports defunding the police, supports the crazy Green New Deal. That's another beauty. Don't forget, the Green New Deal is really $100 trillion, okay? It's $100 trillion. They don't say that, Louis, do they? They talk about $3 trillion. They got down to $3 trillion. No, it's $100 trillion is what they wanted. That's more money. If our economy was going unbelievable gangbusters for 100 years, no recession, no anything, we couldn't come close to making $100 trillion. They want to rip down buildings and rebuild them with no windows. I like windows. I like big, beautiful windows.
Little windows. That's what the Green New Deal is about.
Do a total government takeover of healthcare that will destroy your doctor's offices and rural hospitals. So if you're sick, if you have a cold, go to a hospital, wait online for about 3 days, and hope you get a decent doctor. Ossoff also supports a crippling nationwide lockdown. He wants you to lock your home nice and tight after you're inside of it. And he passes legislation to let hardened criminals go free. Get them out of jail. Get them out of jail. Ossoff will be a complete tool for the radical left donors who are trying to buy Georgia's Senate seats. Do you see the money these people have raised? I mean, it's really, it's very, well, of course, I just raised $250 million, and I should say. I didn't raise it. It just came. I said, how are we doing on that front? You know, because we didn't get great publicity. Boy, they were so happy, these guys. You might not be happy in a few weeks. You know, you might not. No, they were so happy. I said, how's fundraising going? They said, sir, about 250 million. I said, 250 million what? Dollars. How the hell did that happen? Because people believe in what we're doing. That's why. They believe in what we're doing. But that's why Ossoff's donations come from Silicon Valley, San Francisco, and the other liberal places, and they don't come from Georgia. This is not your fault. I know you. You're with me. I'm with you. We've always had wins from primaries to 2 elections. We won 2 elections, believe it or not. I think I won the second one by more than I won the first one. I do, right? Bill, I won the second one by more. On January 5th, you also need to vote for your incredible Republican Senator, Kelly Loeffler. Kelly has been an exceptional champion for Georgia's workers and families. And I know what they fight for. I could tell you about David. I could tell you about Kelly. She fights for you every single day, loves your state. When our nation was hit with the China virus, Senator Loeffler helped rescue the U.S. economy by voting to pass a historic $3 trillion bill, relief for American workers and families, and a lot of people were against it. And
she literally fucking... She literally found out about it, and the first thing that she did was how do I make money from this? And still lies about it to this day. She sold her fucking stocks, dude.
We secured $15 billion for 175,000 Georgia small businesses and saved one.
Some of these fucking hogs really do deserve Kelly Loeffler, though. Like, they're such fucking grotesque, disgusting husks of human that, like, they do really deserve someone as out of touch, as elitist, as personally disgusted by these hogs, person like Kelly Loeffler. Like, you really, if only she hurt the people that voted for her, but that's not how that works, of course. There are plenty of fucking beautiful people there. There are plenty of people in Georgia that are kind and nice and don't want, what do you mean 12-5? Like, there are so many awesome people that live there, and their lives are going to be fucked over, especially because these demons are senators too. So, you know, this is this is a seat, a race that would truly fucking hurt the rest of the country. So it doesn't work that way. There is no justice.
That threat meant nothing. That was a wasted number of phone calls or however the hell they threatened you. That was a waste of time. She also introduced legislation to prevent Democrat